Hey guys, how are you doing? Happy Thursday. Oh, look at that. My apron matches my glasses. I hadn't planned that. Hope y'all are having a good day. I have had a very restful day, a very leisurely day. I am Julie with Nothing is Wasted Designs, and I'm going to do a couple of things with y'all tonight. I'm going to do another one of these little ornaments that comes with all these little wood kit things and all of that. I'm going to put that off to the side for right now. But one of the things that I want to show y'all, is if I can get you in the screen. This is going to just take a quick minute. All right, so y'all know I made this yesterday, right? And what I want you to see, see if I can bring you, let me see if I can bring you closer without making you dizzy. Come on. All right, so you see right here where, there we go. You see how this has the white showing behind it? So somehow the stencil shifted, or I got some bleeding underneath the stencil. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show y'all how I'm going to clean this up. And so let me bring this down here, and I'm going to bring y'all back again, and I'm going to show you what I figured out, a way to, all right, let me get the right brush. I think that the brush I used the first time I did this was it? This might be a good one. Let's see. Maybe it was this. No, I don't think it was that one. I should have remembered which one it was, y'all, because it was like the perfect brush. I think it's this one. Are these the same? Pretty close. Maybe a smaller one. All right, I'm going to do a smaller one. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stiff, flat brush, okay? And the best way that I have found to make this happen, all right, y'all know that I love this Gaffrey base coat. It is amazing, okay? And y'all are going to see how this will cover this in one coat. It is like going to be incredible. All right, and so this is what we're going to do. Let me get a paper towel out here. I'm going to put my stick out of the way in case I need to stir it. And so what I do is I'm going to take a piece of painter's tape, and I don't know if y'all are going to be able to see this or not. And I'm going to take, all right, let me see if I can turn this around this way, because I want y'all to be able to see this. This was kind of like what I did to figure this out. All right, so what I'm going to do is I am going to take this piece of tape and I'm going to line it up. Oops. I'm kind of in an awkward position. I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to get a good seal on that. I don't like that. This needs to be a little bit longer. All right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this piece of tape, all right, and it looks like I'm going to have to do this in two parts. I'm going to take it there, and then I'll lift it up, and I will do it again. All right. So what I have, let's see if I can. I want to do this without spilling. All right, you see how that white is hanging over where the tape is? I'm going to just show you a couple of these that I'm going to do. I'm going to dip my brush in here. And then I'm going to take, and I'm going to just kind of offload this because I don't want it real gloppy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to go right over where that white paint is sticking out. And one coat of this is going to clean this up. It's pretty remarkable. I'm loving this stuff. I'm loving this paint, y'all. All right, and then what I'm going to do, all right, let me show you what I did. I just don't want to spill anything. Okay, so you see what I did is I put the tape. You can see right here, there's still just a little teeny tiny bit of white there. So I'm going to have to pick that up, and I'm going to have to move the tape. But you can see that the white that was there before, I've taken, and because this has such great coverage, now all I have to do is lift that up, and you will see right here up at the top where that white that was all there is gone now. So if you have to, if you're watching the replay, go back and I'm going to do it one more time just so that you can get the, I can get this one section right here taken care of. Okay, I don't want that white. Can you see just that little bit of white right there? So I want to clean that up. I'm going to come in here, and I'm just using the paint that's on the lid. And I'm going to go right over that, making sure that it's nice and smooth. And then you can see that the white is gone now. And so now all I have to do is lift that up, and I've got a nice clean line there, and it's going to give it a nice crisp look. So let me show you one more place where we're going to do this. Let me find one that's pretty obvious. All right, so this one right here. You see how we've got that little tiny bit of white that's hanging out over that? What I want is I want a good crisp line up against between the black and the red. And so let me get this out of the way. And then after I show you this, then I'm going to go back and we're going to make the ornament. But I wanted to show you how I do this. All right, so here we go. So I'm going to take a piece of painter's tape, and you see how that little bit of white is hanging into, it's kind of over, it's like spilled over into the black. So I'm going to take my brush. I want to be careful, and I'm going to come right over this, and then I'm going to lift this up, and now I have a nice crisp line, and I'll show you. And I'm not going to do any more because I want to get to the ornament. But now you can see, let's see, where is it? Right, I think it's right here. Right here, now we've got a nice crisp line. And then so what I'll do is I'll go back, and there's like a couple of spots here that aren't as crisp as I'd like them to be. And so what I'll do is I'll go back and I'll put the piece of painter's tape down, and then I'll paint over it. Now, when I get to the curves, okay, because I'm looking at this cardinal here. Let me see. Let me get this on here. Come on. Doesn't feel like it's on there right, but there we go. Okay, I'm going to put that off to the side. So when I get ready to do the curves, I'm not going to do any because I really want to get to this ornament. But what I will do is I will take just a smaller piece of tape. All right, so let's look at, can you see, let's see what we can see. Right here on the cardinal, I don't know if you can see, there's just a tiny bit of overhang of the white. And so whenever you do a curve, the easiest way for me to show you is to show you with something big as opposed to something small. Let me put this down. What I will do, let's do it on this. Let's do this. This will be easier. Anytime you do a curve, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to just kind of line this up with the edge of the curve. And you're only going to be able to get a small portion there. And then you'll paint it, and then you'll move this, and you'll just line it up exactly with that edge, and then you'll be able to get you a nice crisp look there. So with the black background, and then you have to go over everything with white. Sometimes you get that white that bleeds through, and when you do that, you know, you want to clean it up because it looks so much better when you do. And so I've got a few spots in here. It won't take me that long to do it. I can see, like, right here, I got a nice crisp edge, and then I got a little bit of white right here. So I'll come back and I'll just barely hit that. Now, if you have a steady hand and you feel comfortable doing it freehand, you can do it freehand. I tried doing it freehand, and for me it just didn't look good. So I thought, well, that's when I went for the painter's tape, and I found that works pretty well. All right, so we're going to open this little guy up. We're going to paint our pieces, and we're going to put it together. I'm kind of excited to see this little guy, how we're going to do. This is a little snowman. Whoops. I'm kind of sticking to the little heart. All right. All right, we're going to get, I think I'm going to get a piece of painter's tape so that we can paint these. I don't need that anymore. So here we go, y'all. We got us another little ornament. I'm pretty excited about these little ornaments. All right, here we go. All right, so these are going to be red, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just put winter. We've got 3 little snowflakes, and this is going to spell winter. All right, these are going to be in red. Looks like this one needs to be turned over. So there's 2 colors. There's like a dark side, and then there's a lighter side, and you want to use the lighter side. I guess you could use the darker side if you wanted to. All right, so we've got that is red. Then we're going to have the heart for some of these. These are going to be black. Those are his buttons. And I think we're going to do, this is going to be red. And we're going to do his nose with some red also. Oh, no, I think I want to do that orange. Let's do a traditional orange. And then we'll do the background, and then these are going to be white. Okay, so I've got it all straightened out there. So let's start with, here is my white. Here's my orange. Let me get a small brush, and I think I need, I'm trying to think what sizes I need. Okay, so I'm going to just take, I want to take this one here. And let's go in here with some red. We're going to probably need to do more than, I've found that this red needs more than one coat, and there's plenty of paint in here. So we're going to be good. And I'm going to just take, and we're going to, I think 1 coat's going to do this, y'all. I don't know, we'll see. You know me, I like to have it nice and covered. And then I'm going to just turn my brush over and do the other side. Getting ready for the Christmas tree, my Christmas tree. I don't have a big Christmas tree, so I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these yet. I do know that I have a sale coming up with a lot of items that I have had, that I have made, and that if you're interested, I'm going to be, let's see, Tuesday at, oh, what time? I want to say 4:45. Yeah, 4:45 next week. I'm going to start pulling some stuff out. I have 45 minutes to show the things that I'm going to sell. And and then the following Tuesday, I'll have more stuff. So I'm going to, two Tuesdays. I think I'm going to try and make it the same day of the week. And so far, that's looking like Tuesday. All right, so here we go. And then while that's drying, I'm going to come over here and we are going to do his scarf. Looks like I got way more paint than I need. Okay, and then we're going to come on down. And then after we get the red done, we'll go ahead and do some of the snowman. I'm going to do all the small pieces, and then we're going to come back and do the background, and then we'll glue the small pieces onto the background, and they should be dry by then. Just a cute little quick. It's just drinking that right up. Okay, so I think that's all that I have for red. These feel like they're pretty dry, so let's go in here and grab another layer. Okay. And then we're going to do some orange for his nose. So let me move that out of the way. Grab my water, and we're going to clean our brush. What is this? Oh, that's the black from that. I'm like, where did the black come from? So tomorrow's Friday. I'm hoping to come on maybe in the afternoon tomorrow. We'll see how that goes. All right, so we've got these little guys here. So this is white. This is going to be white. We're going to do this in blue. So let's go ahead and let's grab our blue. Let's go ahead and give it some blue, and then we're going to put some polka dots on it. These little guys are not easy to get into. Here we go. All right, here we go. So we're going to take, and we're going to just, I'm using a bigger brush because this is a bigger surface area. And you can see it's got the little indentations on it of where you're going to put everything. I mean, this is like pretty much foolproof, y'all. This is like if you had a like a party, like a Christmas party, and you wanted to do a craft, this would be a great, it would be a great craft. All right, let's see what we're going to do. We're going to add some polka dots to this. Turn it around. I'm trying to keep it just on the top because if I go off to the sides, all right, notice that I'm going to go over the edge as opposed to coming back onto the, and you know what? Kind of wished that I would have added a little bit of white to this, and I may still do it. And then we'll throw some polka dots over top of it. All right. Got that. We're going to have plenty of blue. All right, I'm going to throw some white in with this. Just get some kind of, just a little bit of streaks. But this would be, yeah, this would be a fun project to do, like at a table with a group of friends. All right, here we go. All right, let's see. All right, we're going to close that red up. And I'm going to come in here a little bit of white, whoops, or a lot of white, and some of this blue. And we are going to just kind of go in here a little more. I'm thinking almost a little bit dry. And I feel like I want to take, all right, let me see if I have, is this a navy? Ooh, this is a navy. Let's see what we're going to do with this navy. All right, let's do, get it open. All right, let's see what I want to do. I think I want to, let me rinse this. I want to get a little bit of water on this and get some of the paint out of here. Because I want to kind of move this around a little bit. All right, so here we go. Yeah. Just getting it wet so that this paint will move. Because I've had it for a while, so it's kind of dried out. All right, let's go back over this with, hey Carol, how are you? Welcome to my page. I'm Julie with Nothing Is Wasted Designs. And I've got a kit, these little kit ornaments that I've been doing. And so I'm doing another one tonight. All right, so let's see what I want to do. I feel like, all right, I think that's all I'm going to do for that blue, that light blue. There we go. All right, so we're going to do that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to turn it around. Let's dry this. Let me move these before I blow them all over the place. We'll come back and we'll do that in white in a minute. It smells like a campfire. I like the way these smell. I used to do a lot of wood, like stuff out in the yard with my dad. I grew up on, we had 5 acres of land, and it wasn't all cleared, but my dad did a lot of clearing with it, and so there was always like wood burning and the chainsaw going. Let's see what I want to do. I think I'm going to take this and we're going to put some white polka dots on here. But I think before I do that, we're going to go ahead and we're going to paint these. I'm going to paint the snowman. He's got some eyes that we need to probably use the paintbrush, the back of the paintbrush. Okay. And then we'll do his buttons. Feel like, I might be pulling something out. Looks like we need something with, oh man, where is my glitter? My white glitter would be good. Maybe what we'll do is we'll put some, there's that. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take his nose and we're going to go over this in white. And then we're going to come back with a really small brush and we're going to put some orange on it. All right, so this, let me see if I know what I want to do, y'all. I want to do some of these glass bead gels. I always like this. All right, so I'm going to open that up, and then we are going to dry this. All right, we got a couple of things going on here. We're gonna take, let's see, do I need anything else white? Oh, I gotta get the snowflakes. All right, so there we go. So we've got that. And we're gonna come over here with our white. And you can tell the one side, see how it's dark on that side and lighter on that side? That's your top side. And so we are going to do our snowflakes. This was like the whole idea behind the tape, but here we are, right? Y'all, I have so many projects to do. I'm so excited. It's like, slow down, Christmas, slow down. All right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go over this one more time, and then we'll go over it with, okay. So there we go, and then I'm gonna do another coat on top of this, and it's gonna be okay. And we're gonna clean our brush so that I don't have 15 brushes. Y'all, at the end of the night, I have so many brushes to clean. It's like crazy. Especially when I did that stained glass piece, I think I had at least 10 or 15 brushes. All right, so we're gonna clean that off, and let's get a small brush for, all right, this is gonna go on here. And then I'll set them on there straight. And then once we get these on here, all right, I'm gonna do the little heart over here. We're gonna bring these in. These are his little pieces of coal. And we need black for that. This is like a navy, so I'm not gonna use that. Just gonna get it all over my fingers instead. And then we need to come back with the orange and do his nose also. So let me get a little teeny tiny brush for these little black buttons. And they're so little that you're going to want to put them on a piece of tape. It'll help keep your hands a little bit cleaner. All right, so that's all I need. I don't need, I might use the back of this brush for the snowman's eyes. So I'm going to leave that open. All right, we're going to put this on here. We've got the winter, and now we need another little brush, a little teeny tiny brush. I wonder if this one will work. I think I'm going to use this one. Let's do this and see what happens. Oh boy, there's like very little in here at all. All right, so here we go. This might be exactly the right size brush for this, y'all. And there's just a smidgen of paint in here, but that's all I need. I'm thinking I might add just a little tiny bit of red. I don't know. Yeah, this is going to be just Hope I don't need any more orange. There's one more ornament in this box that I still have left to do. All right, so that's kind of cute. All right, so we're going to do that. And, all right, we're going to put that in the water. I'm going to leave that open. We don't need the orange anymore. So, you know, well, I'll leave it because I'll know that I need that color. All right, so now we're going to come in here. And this is done. So let me come in here with my glue. And I have found, oh, come on, don't do this to me. Can't do this to me. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, let me get a small stick. One of the smallest popsicle sticks that I have. And we are going to see how we want to do this. Let's go ahead and let's put his little pieces of coal on there first. All right, here we go. We'll get this guy here. This is Tight Bond 2 Premium Wood Glue, and it's got a quick drying to it. Okay. We got to put his nose on here too. And I don't know, that little pour spout just never seems to work for me, so I find that it's easier to just put a stick in there and then go with that. All right, so this is what we got so far. We got his little buttons on there. See his eyes? I'm going to take the back of well, let's see, we need his scarf has got to go on here too. Let's see where that goes. I think that goes right here. All right, we'll do that next. All right, so let's get a little bit of glue on here. This reminds me of the year that I made a whole bunch of plaster of Paris ornaments and painted them. Sat at my kitchen table and painted them. I had so much fun doing it. It was like the first time I ever really worked with any paint brushes like that. And there was a lot of like really intricate work on there. But boy, did I have fun with that. And then, of course, I let my boys be part of it too. All right, let's get this on here. Let's line that up. Okay, so this is what we got. We got his little scarf. And then we're going to give him his nose. Put his nose hanging off just a little bit. I probably need to get like a different kind of bottle that I could put this like a smaller amount in here. All right, here we go. We're going to, his nose is going to be looking up. Okay, this is what we got. And now he needs some eyes. So let me come in here. I'm going to use the back of this brush. That one's got a tag on it. So, all right, here we go. We're going to just dip this in here. And we are going to go, not quite enough. Let's try that again. No, still not enough. All right, let's let's just go without, there we go. And I will try and see if I can get, oh, that one's kind of, there we go. All right, so this is what we have so far. We're not done yet. Isn't that cute? All right, so we're going to wipe this off. Trying to think what else I need. Oh, I need to, I'm going to take one of these small brushes and just kind of go along this. Get the excess. Oh, no, 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 no. I just, look what I did to his eye. All right, we're going to have to, all right, hang on. We're going to have to paint over it. What not to do. What not to do. All right, let's dry it because otherwise it's just going to keep searing. We got to clean his face up. It kind of is, but I like doing stuff like this, Carol. It's, for me, it's fun. All right, let's go over where his eyes were, where I messed up his eyes. And along here. All right, let me clean this off. Yeah, it's got a lot of little parts to it, but gosh, I tell you, when I did the those plaster of Paris ornaments, gosh, that had to be 10 or 15 years ago, at least 15 probably, because my boys have been out of, let's see, Mark graduated in 2010. It's 15 years now. So probably 20 years. It was probably 20 years ago that I did them. All right, and I'm just going to try and get that black off of there. We'll clean our brush again, and then we'll go back over it. Kind of messed up his face. That's okay. I say that, but I keep messing it up more. All right, let's dry it, because it's not going to go anywhere if I don't dry it. Can't cover it up if you don't dry it. All right, let's see if we've got a clean brush here. It looks like we do. There we go. So we're going to give him some snow on his scarf. I got some white paint on his scarf. See how I got some white paint on his scarf? He's going to have more white paint because we're going to just exaggerate that. And he's going to have snow on his scarf. Okay, so that's how you take care of that. And then we're going to dry it again, and we're going to give him some new eyes. We're going to set that off to the side, and we're going to come back in here, and we are going to put the word winter on here, and we're going to do it one letter at a time. Carol, what kind of Christmas crafts do you like to do? Do you like to make ornaments or big projects, little projects? Combination, decoupage. I like to do a lot of different things. I don't really do any. Hey Michelle, how are you? Good to see you. I don't really do a lot of the same thing Now, I have done assembly line work for Christmas. When our son was 3 months old, my husband and I did we made 15 gingerbread houses. And I'm talking, let me think while I'm doing this. From scratch. I'm talking flour, sugar, butter, ginger powder, molasses. I'm trying to think what sugar. Did I say sugar? Boy, was that fun. Man, cinnamon, nutmeg, cloves. It had cloves in it. And we rolled it out and cut each piece. I had like one piece, or that represented both sides of the roof. Then we had a front piece. We had 2 side pieces and a back piece. And boy, am I going to tell you, that was so much fun. And the house just smelled amazing. And then that year, I had been wanting to make gingerbread houses for a while. And so that year at Halloween, when all the Halloween candy went on sale, all right, let's see if I can move this up. Kind of looking kind of crooked. Now, you know how you take care of the crookedness. You make it so that it is really crooked, so that it's not just a little bit crooked. All right, that's good. All right, so this is what we have for the winter. Okay, and I know it's backwards for y'all. So that particular, after all the Halloween candy went on sale, I bought a whole bunch of candy. I mean, and no 2 houses were the same. And they were about 9 inches by probably 9 by 6 by, I don't know, maybe 12, 15 inches. They were big. And every one of the houses was decorated differently. There were no 2 that were the same. And oh, it was so fun. Abstract art. Oh, good for you. Paint by numbers, pencil figures. What are pencil figures? What does that mean? That you just draw them with a pencil? I'm trying to learn how to paint. There you go. All right, let's put some polka dots on here, y'all. There we go. I think it's so much fun to see all of the variety that everybody has with the different art forms that are out there. So much talent. One year I made angels out of doilies, and boy, did those turn out really cool. We had a waffle cone maker. All right, this is our snow, y'all. We had a waffle cone maker, so we had this plastic cone, and all right, here we go. All right, so this is our snow coming down. Oops. We got us some snow. We're gonna put our snowman. All right, let's dry this before I smudge it. It takes those polka dots a little bit longer to dry because you've got that raised area. All right, here we go. But anyway, so with the angels, I had 2 doilies, if I remember right. And one of them I took, I'm going to just show you, pretend that this is a cone shape. And so I did like a starch, I think I used starch. And I soaked the doilies in starch, and then I hung them over top of the cone. It was a little bit shorter than this. It was about this high. And then I had it so that it draped down and had a flat bottom as it kind of branched out from there. And so I had to do that. I could only do one at a time because I only had one of those cone pieces. And so I would make one a day, and I had to start making them. These were 2 separate Christmases, though. I didn't do both of these on the same Christmas. But I saw it somewhere, and I thought, well, that would be fun to make. It's a good thing I put the eyes on there before I put this on here, huh? So, and then I took, the other thing I did was I folded the doily in half, and then I put like, I think I put like saran wrap or something so that I puffed up the sleeves, and I wrapped it around the cone so that you could put the cone and the body together. Oh, I still need that. And they turned out so, and those were different too because I had different kinds of doilies. I had my, all right, we got to go in here with the black again, y'all. And I need to not mess up this time. Let me get a different brush. I got no room for error on this one. So this is the real McCoy here. All right, let's do this one and see what we get. Anyway, so I did that, and then like, I can't remember if I did glitter. I glued everything together, I think, with a hot glue gun for the angels. All right, here we go. Not a whole lot of black in here. All right, here we go, y'all. Let's see where his eyes are supposed to go. They go one here. All right. And one here. All right, we did it. All right, looky here. We got his little eyes on there. And we're gonna let those dry before we start messing with anything. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, and then I had a styrofoam ball that I covered in white fabric. And I got some like hair that you get with dolls. Oh, cool. Drawing faces using a pencil. I bet that's fun. So I had a styrofoam ball that I put on top of the body, and then the arms came around. And somewhere I had gold. I can't remember where I had gold, but all right, we're going to put this on here. Okay. Let's bring this back. Trying to think, what are some of the other details? My mother-in-law still has that one of the angel that she had, and she's 94. She still has it in her house. She's the only one that has the gingerbread house left too. They ended up spraying something on it to preserve it, and it's still around. All right, we're going to put that on there. So this is what we have so far. Isn't that cute? All right, let's see what else we got. I think I want to put, but I have to wait for it to dry a little bit. Let's see what else are we. Oh, we got to get the snowflakes on here. So don't let me put this away yet. All right, so we're going to put, I think we'll put a snowflake on his scarf here. let's trying to think of some. Oh, pine cone wreaths. We did that one year. We lived on the bay, Chesapeake Bay, right on the Chesapeake Bay. And all right, we're going to put this on here, and then we're going to do the little red heart. Where we lived, the median had all of these pine trees, and they were loaded with pine cones. So I went up and down the road, and oh, that's cute. Look at that. Look at that, y'all. I don't want to. I'm afraid it's going to slide. All right, so I'm going to take, and I think I want to put a little bit more snow. I don't need this brush. Put this one off to the side. Where does it go? I've got some kind of order with these brushes. There it is, the liner brushes. I'm going to put that one in there. I want to get a little bit of white. Let me get that liner brush back. All right, let's come in here with a little bit of white. And I'm going to put just a dot. I don't think I have a brush small enough to go in there with. So we're going to put that back in there. All right, I think I want to put a little bit more snow. That looks black. Let's see if it's got color on it. Nope, we're good. Okay, so let's put, so the pine cone wreaths, boy, that was quite a chore. That was, all right, let's put a little bit of snow over here on this side too. We're going to just snow him up. For that, what I did was I cut out a ring out of cardboard. I think we should put some white up on the top of the letters. Like it's sitting on top of the letters. There we go. Just a little bit. Make it look cold. All right. Let's see what we got. Isn't that cute? But what I would do is every Christmas, let's see, my husband and I have been married 37 years. So 37, let's see, 8, yeah, 37. Ugh. I want to put some of this glass bead on here. All right, I think that's everything. And then we'll put some jute through this. How cute is that? All right, I'm going to put some glass bead gel on there. My husband's an engineer, and he always I used to call him my project manager, because I would come up with the ideas and then he would make it all happen. He would, engineer it. And so we made a really good team that way. All right, I'm trying to figure out what kind of brush I want to use. When I start working with glue and stuff, I like to use brushes that are just kind of, if they get messed up, it doesn't matter. Thanks, Carol. All right, so here we go. This is called Glass Bead Gel. This is by Golden. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and I want to put some snow, kind of some snow on this guy. We're going to just kind of shine him up a little bit. But I think he probably cut the cardboard for those pine cone wreaths. That was fun. I can't remember if I painted the pine. I must have painted the pine cones before I put them on the And I wired them on there. I think no, maybe I can't remember if I hot glued on them. But everybody got a pine cone wreath that year. And it was like, it didn't make, whatever I made for one person, we made for everybody in the family, but it was all personalized according to, you know, what their likes and what colors they liked in their house and stuff like that. And my sister-in-law, my husband's sister, she is so funny. She, oh, this is so cute. I don't think they ate they came down, they're an hour and a half away, and they came to our house for Christmas that year because our son was just a matter of 3 months old, so we weren't doing a lot of traveling. And they came to us, and they started eating their gingerbread house on the way home. It was hilarious. I was not surprised because Patty was like that. All right, so somehow I got to get a smaller brush in here. All right, let's see how I'm going to do this. Let's try this thing. Let's see what this will do. I probably should have done this before I got the buttons on here. But every year I would look and look for what kind of craft could I make for everybody for Christmas. And lo and behold, it was always 2 weeks. It seemed like it was always 2 weeks before Christmas before I would find something. And then I would like be spending all the waking hours trying to get everything done. The good news was that we celebrated Christmas, you know, with my family on a separate day that we celebrated Christmas with my husband's family, because his mom's birthday is December 26th. So we always went to their house after Christmas. So we could come home Christmas night, and if we had to, we could finish up whatever we needed to finish for his family, depending upon... Oh, this is going to be cute. All right, let me get a few more glass bead gels on here. So I always looked forward to it because that was my big time to really craft. I taught school, so I did a lot of, you know, creative things for the class, for the kids and everything. But so that's where I kind of got my creativity out during the school year. And then I didn't really do much during the summer, but because we lived right on the beach. All right, we're getting this on here. It's a nice little tool here. I don't use this very often, but it's a good one. Okay. I think we're good, y'all. Oh, we got to get these. Oh, we got to get these little snowflakes on here. Let's put one there, and probably one in here. Let's do that. All right. So I'll show you. Let me get the our snowflakes on here, and let me open this up. But those are just some of the things that I can remember that I made, and then I went. Before I started making a lot of Christmas presents for everybody, I would wrap everything real kind of extravagantly. And so that was kind of like my present. One year I had back surgery, and I couldn't get down on the floor to do anything. So, and I was at my mom and dad's house recuperating. And, okay, that's cute. I made Santa Clauses out of, I went out in my dad's workbench. All right, this is what we got. Isn't that cute? Can you see the, I don't know if you can see the glass beads. It's on the snowman. And then I put some snow on the winter. That is so cute. So I took these coffee cans, the large coffee cans. And I wrapped them in either paper or felt. I can't remember now. And then I made some kind of cone out of poster board for the hat. And then so I decorated it with eyes and, you know, pom-pom. I can't remember how I did the hats, but and then what I did was I glued the hat. I took a hot glue gun and I glued the hat like onto the can so that the hat came up like this. And the only way you could get into it was you had to like pry it open, but it wasn't going back on there because it was all done with the glue gun. And I think I used like googly eyes, and I don't know what I used for his beard or anything. Probably some kind of polyfill or something. But I had, hey Nancy, this is what we made tonight. Cute little ornament. But I'm not going to put the jute on there right now. I'm going to wait and let that dry overnight. But so yeah, so I've done a lot of fun things, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do with these. I'm thinking I want to do some kind of giveaway or something with y'all. So to be determined, right? But so this is our winter snowman. I see things that other people do, and it inspires me, and, it just, I think we all just kind of inspire each other, to be honest with you. And, and then there was the one year when, after my mom and dad died, I got a embroidery sewing machine, FOF, and so there was the year that I embroidered hand towels. I probably made about 20 or 25 of those, and those I could do ahead of time. But and I haven't done any embroidery in a while. If you go back and look on my page, there's a some squares that I did for a table runner, and I'm gonna post a picture of the finished table runner that I made about 5 years ago. I think it was 2020, so it was 5 years ago. And so done a lot of different stuff. It's fun. I like working with my hands, and I like stretching myself and learning new things. And I'm trying to think of, I don't know, there's always a bunch of stuff. Just whatever comes across my path. And being a math teacher, I can kind of take things apart. I can see, oh, well, that's just, a cone shape, and that's a circle shape, and, so it's very easy for me to kind of figure out how to put something together. And, but, once I started doing the crafts for my page with Nothing is Wasted Designs, that's a whole nother level of crafting. But other than tonight, because like for this was pretty simple, because it was like a little kit, and all the pieces are there. But usually the stuff that I do on my page is I have to collect all the pieces, like this one here. Even though this is a stencil, I have to decide what size board I want to put it on, the colors of the paint, and so there is a little bit of with stencils, but then you can mix the stencils together, and so it's just keep going and keep practicing. I did for a while. I did a lot of and I want to get back to working with rice paper, because that's fun, because you can do like a lot of embellishments with that and everything, and silver trays and stuff like that. But anyway, all right, that's kind of like my my Christmas past in a nutshell, and some of the things that I've made and the fun that I've had with them. And I hope y'all have a great night. Thanks for joining me, Carol, and Nancy, and those of you that are going to be coming on with the replay. And I'll be on tomorrow, I think in the afternoon, but I will see. Check your, if you click on the 3 dots, make sure that you're following my page, and then click on the 3 dots. I think it's like in the middle of my page or something, or on your end. If you click on those 3 dots, it'll tell you that, you can be notified for every time that I come online, and then Facebook will notify you. I need to start a Telegram so that I can send it out to everybody and let them know that I'm going to be going live. All right, y'all have a great night. Thanks for joining me. And if you're just hopping on, if you'll go back and watch the replay and let me know what you think. Love y'all. Jesus loves you the most. Bye-bye.